Hey, what's up? So I'm gonna make this custom for you just because it's a little bit quicker. You can digest it before the call. We can go through it a little bit more. So let's just go through this. I'll make it quick, and like I said, if we can go through it a bit deeper today. So every business exists to solve a problem. You want to get known for solving that problem. So let's say, looking at your LinkedIn, it's burnout in leadership position. Like we want to solve for burnout. You want to get known for that problem, and then you have a specific way to solve that problem. This is your zone of genius. And what's really effective in content and to start to showcase this zone of genius, this is a very psychological thing for people like a lot of great creators have this where it's like, oh, if I'm going to grow my business, cool, that's the problem I could solve. It could be very broad and general. But how I solve my business could be so many things. Do we do podcasts? Do we do Facebook ads? Is it storytelling and short form content? Is it YouTube? Is it writing a book? Did I say that already? There's so many ways that you could get known, and it's typically the way you solved your own problem. And again, this could be like a myriad of things that we can go through this. But what I would have you do is just think about the ways in which you would solve burnout. And then maybe that's through your one-on-one coaching, maybe that's through like specific workshops. But like you could be like, it's breath work. Like if you just fucking did breath work and got control of your breath, that could be the thing. It could also be like a certain protocol. Like if I have this 5-step protocol, it could also be that. And then you can name the protocol something, and that could be your zone of genius. And so I just want you to think about that. You solve a problem. What is the problem? Called burnout, right? And then what is your way to solve that problem? And again, if it's a list of things, then maybe we can bucket that list of things into a general overarching thing, like oh, if it's breath work, and if it's meditation, if it's like all these things, then it's like, well, maybe it's nervous system regulation. And you want to get known for solving that problem, and over time you get known for that thing, and then you are attracting people who are aware that they're in burnout or are approaching burnout, and they're looking for the solution, and then maybe they realize that the solution is slowing down, and then you show up in their world and say like, look, I'm the expert for this. You already want this thing. I am just showing myself as the expert. Okay, so that's kind of the overarching theme. Now, the next part is like in this bucket, in this problem you solve in Zone of Genius, there's an aspirational identity. For you, it's just probably like leadership. I am a leader. And maybe it's like business owner, maybe it's like a leader in business. Maybe that's what you want to be known for, being on LinkedIn and stuff. And so you are helping people become a better leader, right? I know that's kind of part of your LinkedIn statement. So you help people step into that aspirational identity. Now, the big part of this work is that you already embody that aspirational identity. You are already a aligned leader, a non-burnt out leader. Maybe you can come up with the phrase you want to think about for that. You are already that person. And as you embody that, this is where you start to make content where you're like, let's say it's breath work. Like, as I led this workshop to 1,000 people, I was freaking the fuck out. My nerves were high, and I know when my nerves are high, like I'm not going to perform to the best of my ability. So I was backstage and I did box breathing, right? And you could teach someone about box breathing and how that helped you present better and lead a room of 1,000 people, right? So you're already doing the work, and instead of being like, you need to do this, we're not going to talk at people. We're going to be the leader, a step or 5 steps or 5 chapters, however you want to look at that. We're going to be the leader that's ahead of them. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm trying not to ask the question, does that make sense? Because I think it's undermining your intelligence and my explanation of things, right? So you are just going to do the work that you do, and you are going to attract people who need that support, right? Who need that problem solved. And you're just going to show them, look, here's how I solve the problem for myself. Here are the stories, here are the tools, all those things. Okay, now the part we talked about on our call is kind of incorporating these other parts of you. So if it's like the music scene, if it's the hood version of you, like whatever that is, would fit in these other identities. And the way you get to start to differentiate yourself is really meeting in the overlap here. And I have examples I could scroll down to really quickly. But so let's say for me, problem I solve, you're disconnected from your content. Content doesn't work. You're not really building a following. No one's signing up for your shit. Like it could be a business problem. Really, it's a content problem. Your content sucks. Zone of genius, storytelling, stepping into your truth, allowing content to be the source of your soul's work and not feeling like you're hiding and you're only showing them 20% of yourself, right? So that zone of genius really is storytelling. Now, the aspirational identity for me is content creator. I'm going to help you become a better I'm a great content creator. I'm going to help you become a better content creator, an incredible content creator who can speak their truth with confidence. That's the aspirational identity. And so I embody that by doing the work. Okay, and then these other parts, for me, I'm very spiritual and I'm an athlete. And now it's in these overlaps where I start to, where I'm able to stand out and attract my people. Right, the reason why I attract you and people like you who are very spiritual, who take their health seriously, especially their mental health, is because I show those things, and I use these overlaps, as metaphors or in my stories. So if I'm like on a spiritual journey and I'm using Joe Dispenza to manifest making $150,000 by the end of the year, I'm making $150,000 by the end of the year through my content as a content creator, and I'm doing Joe Dispenza meditations to manifest this. So that's that overlap, right? And I'm going to attract people, again, like yourself. I'm not going to attract bros. I don't attract bros. I attract people who've done men's work. I attract people who've been in therapy, because I use those things as examples. Tennis is a metaphor a lot of times. When I train for ultra marathons, baseball, those are metaphors for navigating safety on the tennis court. Well, if I want to speak my truth in content, then I need to navigate safety in speaking my truth. And so this overlap becomes a metaphor for how I speak about things. And that becomes a great source for content and a way for me to stand out and attract my people. That's it. I won't over explain it. So I want you to think about these. I want you to think about, what is the problem you solve? What is your zone of genius? We can work through all this on the first call. Who is that aspirational identity? Who are you? And who are you helping your people become? And what are your other core identities that you can start to use as metaphors, stories, and examples to attract your people? And in this is incredible sources for content, and this will be the basis of our first call. Let me know if you have questions. I know we have like an hour, so I apologize. It took me some time to get this to you. But hopefully you can watch this and start thinking about these things before a call. Bruce.